I've never done this before, I'm quite nervous. I'm actually shaking. But it's all right when people aren't here, but yous are all here, so it's a thing now.
So I'll introduce us. So I'm Lorraine, Laurie. This is Karen, Cece. So we decided that we both went through so much in our life that we decided the best way for us to show you this today is in our performance style. So we will take Karen through her journey, which I am so proud to be standing right next here beside her. And then we'll move on to me. And in between that, we'll just breathe.
We will breathe.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk you through my journey with breast cancer. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 18, and I went through treatment just as my 19th birthday was going through, and it followed on. I had to have chemotherapy, numerous operations. None of that worked. I had to get radiotherapy. It was hard. I didn't know how to feel. I thought I was going to die, and then I didn't think I was going to die, and then I just thought, right, well, if I'm going out, I'm going out in style. So I just done what anybody did and went out and partied, and then I was told I couldn't have a family and I had to deal with this. At the time, I didn't want a family. I was 18, didn't want one. I wanted to go out. I'd just found my boyfriend and we'd just moved in. Got together in November, moved in by the February, and it was amazing because we worked together. So we went to work, we come home, we had work parties at the weekend, and everything was just awesome as it is. And then a few months later, you know, you go for the long bath. The bath was run for me coming in for work, and then I felt a lump.
So I'm going to take you to the next part of the journey. This is exactly what happened to Karen.
Lorraine is now going to be what I actually was thinking when I was going through this. So I'm in the bath.
I don't like myself.
I don't.
She
because
hates herself.
I found a lump. The lump was here. I knew what it was. I was prepared, because I was of the opinion you prepare yourself for the worst and you can't get any bad news. And I shouted him in. He comes in, and it's, phone your mum. And I thought, well, what can she do? Phone the doctors, and I went to the doctors, and the doctors are, well, you know, you're still quite young, so don't worry about it, it's fine. It'll be fatty tissue, it'll be cysts, it'll be this, it'll be that, but it'll not be cancer.
But this happened next. This is what happened next.
I had to chase it up, go for a second opinion. Still wasn't believed, went for a third opinion. It just so happened that the doctor that I saw the third time, his wife worked in the breast clinic, and he took me seriously. So he sent me in for my appointment, and I got the biopsy. And then after work, my boyfriend and I are lying in bed and the phone call came.
And then this is what happened next.
Bring somebody with you, we have your results. So bring somebody with you means I was right. Bring somebody with you means it is cancer, but you have to have somebody else there because it's going to be emotional. For me, it wasn't emotional. For me, I knew. For me, I thought, fuck it. What can you do? It is what it is. I didn't want my mum to come with me because I thought, she doesn't need to be there. She doesn't need to hear that. I can tell her when I get home. She doesn't need to sit there and be in the hospital and be upset. But she wouldn't hear it. So she's, your daddy's gone with you. So there's me sitting there with my daddy and my boyfriend. None of the two of them could speak. The only questions my daddy could ask was, is she going to lose her hair? And she says aye. And that broke. That was him. My boyfriend is sitting at the time like a rabbit in headlights. Now, bearing in mind, we hadn't even been together for a year. So I'm thinking, I'm going to need to get rid of him. Because he doesn't need to deal with this. He was a year younger than me. I was only just turning 19. He was just turning 18. I'm going to lose anything that makes me feel like a woman. I'm going to lose my hair. I'm going to lose my boobs. So what's the point in having a relationship?
And this is when the self-conscious mind or the subconscious mind comes in and tells her this. She's wearing a mask. She's pretending that she's okay. But see, deep down inside, her pain is real. She's thinking, who's going to want me? Her mind is saying with one boob. Who's going to look at me again normal? She went to the shops afterwards with everything, and she kept thinking and having these irrational thoughts. What will I wear? What kind of clothes is going to fit me? She's 18 years old. How could she possibly know what the next step was? Her mind was racing. She didn't want to be here. But everybody was there supporting her. But the mind was telling her otherwise. So she wore a mask.
So I'm out, 18, 19, in the pub, as you do. And all the lassies the same age as me are all in their low-cut tops, and their hair's all long. Sorry, I'm moving the mic. Their hair's all long, and it's all beautiful, and there's me standing with a skinhead and tops up to here, because I had plasters, and it was all stuck up. And so I thought, right, how am I going to deal with this? I'm going to make a joke out of it. So I had to wear a prosthesis, and the best way to make out the joke with the prosthesis was to pass it around the pub. So everybody in the pub, especially my table full of pals, are shoving it down and they're getting it all this, and it was jiggling about. And the looks you were getting for the tables next were kind of... But I had to do that because it was funny that I had cancer. It was funny that I felt ugly. It was funny that I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, because I had to sit with all my beautiful pals, and I had to sit there, and they were all gorgeous, and they had boobs and they had hair, and I didn't. And I had to make that funny because I didn't know how to deal with that. I hated myself. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, and I still couldn't understand why I couldn't get rid of him, because he was still there. He wouldn't go. He never missed an appointment. He stayed with me all the time, every appointment, and even when I didn't want to go in, he dragged me out that car. I had to walk about with a thermometer, and I had the thermometer so they wouldn't make me go to the hospital. Temperature through the roof, and they dragged me in. They told me I couldn't have a family. Didn't want any, like I said. Went through all the operations, went through everything, and then I decided I wanted a football team. It didn't happen, by the way, the football team. So I'm away, still hating myself, still can't look at myself, fighting to get a reconstruction, because I want boobs. I always wanted boobs, but I had to fight for this. And the men, no offence to the guys, couldn't get this. We can't do it. Your skin's no this, your skin's no that. Can't do it, but don't want to mess about with that, don't want to upset it. And I had to deal with that. Couldn't get a reconstruction. So I'm sure you can imagine. I was devastated. But it is what it is. So after the radiotherapy finished, I then found out I was pregnant. So my phone's the hospital. Something to tell you guys, guess who's pregnant? And I was like, what was you can't be? And I thought, well, and we got in for the appointment, and they told me to terminate. They told me to terminate because it could come down to me or the baby. And me being me was like, in the politest possible way, absolutely not. Being stubborn helped. I was still wearing this mask, I still felt horrendous, I still felt ugly, I couldn't look at myself, but I was pregnant. They told me I couldn't get pregnant. So I stuck it out. She's 16, by the way. There was no issues. Thank you. And it happened again. He's 10. But the point is, that's when things started to change with me. That's when I started to not feel ugly. But I started to realise that it's not about what I, in my head, thought was what made me a woman. It was about what I could do and what I could use for this experience. And I used it to help what I could. And what you're told often isn't always the case, and it goes to show that your determination can help you get through that. But the pain and my thoughts and what I felt when I looked at myself in the mirror, anybody turned around and says to me, I'm fine, I'm all right, it's good, it's a laugh, it's a joke. But that's not what I was feeling. I couldn't look at me, I couldn't stand myself. The woman used to follow me around the shop. My prosthesis came up here. And I was wearing this mask, the prosthesis came up here, and she followed me around the shop and told me my chicken fillet was shown. I don't know what kind of size of chicken fillet you're eating, love, but that's not a chicken fillet. And I used to get it quite a lot. I used to go swimming, and the chicken fillet would fall out, and it'd be out there, and I'd be out here, and I'd have to swim out to get it. But I made a joke of it, and I tried so hard not to let it affect me. And it wasn't years and years later that I realised how much it actually did affect me when I started healing. And it wasn't until I was out of the numbness of all the medication they gave me that I didn't need. I didn't need it. I needed somebody to talk to. I was only a Wayne. I needed somebody to help me. I needed somebody to go, it's all right, it's fine, come on, sit down. I didn't need antidepressants. I did need the copious amount of painkillers, let's be honest. But I didn't need to be on it that length of time. I needed help, I needed conversation. I didn't need all of that. And that blinded me to healing. It blinded me to where I needed to be. Until obviously I found out I was pregnant. Bish, bash, bosh, and the tablets were away. Because I had to think of this other life, no mine. I had to think about what I was going to teach them and no be selfish about it. It was hard. And it took me a long time to realise that this mask, this had to go.
So this mask has wrapped her in pain and trauma and kept her stuck. They said she wouldn't be pregnant. She's got 2 kids. Look at her. She's awesome. She's every bit a woman you could ever imagine. Her husband is an amazing person.
Husband. He's a husband now. He still wouldn't go. I say this with all the love because the guy's up, he's couldn't have been any more supportive. Even up until this day, he couldn't be any more supportive. Still willing to leave, but couldn't be any more supportive. And now I can look at myself in the mirror. I can look at myself in the mirror, I can look at my scars. I have had chunks cut out my back, I've had skin cut out, I've had muscle tissue cut out. Because a female surgeon, a female, on the birds, she came in and she had a marker and she drew on me and she's like grabbing you, you know, she's got this bit and that bit and I will move this and we'll move that. And she moved all that and she created this. So now I can look at myself and now I can say, I am a woman regardless of whether I had no hair. I am a woman regardless of what's here. Because I'm me. I'm fearless now. I took that and I used it and I'm still using it. And I'm using it for something good. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I don't want sympathy. I want to help. And I want other people to understand that that C word, not my favourite C word, but the other C word, isn't always a bad thing. You can use it as a positive. And I do believe that that saved my life. I believed that going through that saved my life, and I have got a beautiful family through it now, and I have got some beautiful friends.
She's all right. She's all right.
So definitely,
You're a woman.
I am a woman. I'm divine, and everything else that comes with it, connected, and I use it. Use it. Don't dwell on anything. Use your experiences and just move on. I don't know what else to say now. I'm going to start freaking out. So we're going to take Lorraine.
Well done, Karen. Thank you so much. Look at her.
Take a bite.